a little bit of housekeeping, girls. Good morning before Kate starts. I wanted to complete a list of tasks. Genesis is here, so people are coming. Okay. Please bear in mind that the portfolio, the complete portfolio, will have all of these will include all of these tasks that we have been doing together. Parts of them we have discussed together in classes. So if you revise all of them, all of the videos, you will be able to find them and complete them, and then transfer them to the portfolio. Do you all have the portfolio format with you? Could you find the portfolio format online? It is, I uploaded it to Educandos, so you will be able to find there the format, which is something you need in order to complete the portfolio. We will have just a look at it and just trying to start with that. And do you have any doubts about the portfolio? You will have time to complete it. We will arrange again a date, but December will be dedicated to check portfolios mainly. So here you have, this is the format. Similar to what we did last semester, you will, task by task, you will be writing a general description here, copying the task here in this section, and answering some reflection questions. And you add all of the tasks here until by the end, you will have a general reflection. Okay, so you have different ones. But I wanted you to notice that you add as many tasks as you need. Only bear in mind that the final reflections will be about the whole module. So you will need, so it's like a kind of roundup for the whole module. All right, in that sense, you have that to complete. And here, check this PowerPoint, which has the complete list. Remember that there are 2 review tasks that corresponded to the midterm, which I am finishing, correcting. Javiera, sorry about that. And Genesis, we have had plenty of other emergent work that was necessary to accomplish, but I am giving personalized, detailed feedback. So it takes me in between 3-4 hours to complete one midterm until I analyze everything and give feedback to each of you. So please bear with me. I ask you, but I think you're all okay. It's not that you're not passing, but I want to give you feedback, very conscientious feedback, because I wanted to improve. And there is one point that we need to improve as a group, that is objective writing, and that's why we are going to see that by the end of this presentation. So now we have the standards presentation. Eileen and Kate. Eileen has problems, but Kate is here, and so she will be able to present today. So now, Kate, you will be able to share with us.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen.
Yes, okay. Oh, Eileen is here. Good, 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 good. What are we waiting? Okay. Welcome, Eileen.
Can you see the screen, right?
Yes, it's perfect.
Okay. Good morning, teacher and classmates. Today we are going to talk about the pedagogical standard number 8. We are Eileen Agarzúa and Kate Basualto.
Bueno, este estándar dice, está preparado para atender la diversidad y promover la integración en el aula. Esto quiere decir que el futuro docente tiene que entender que la educación es un derecho que tienen que tener todos los estudiantes y tiene que atender también a la diversidad de cada uno de sus estudiantes. Y debe estar preparado también para implementar y evaluar estrategias pedagógicas que contribuyan a hacer efectiva la igualdad de oportunidades para de esta forma evitar la discriminación.
This standard had 6 descriptors that are muestra disposición a respetar a cada uno de sus estudiantes, sus familias y sus comunidades, y actúa considerando la influencia que puedan tener sus acciones, decisiones y juicios en el desarrollo efectivo y social de los estudiantes que estarán a su cargo. Respeta y valora la diversidad de estudiantes en relación al género, etnia, religión, creencias, nacionalidad, discapacidades, condición socioeconómica y talentos, evitando la discriminación, previniéndola y promoviendo la inclusión. Está preparado para adaptar su enseñanza a las características de los estudiantes con dificultades y con talentos especiales.
And another descriptor are conoce la normativa relativa en relación de la discapacidad del sistema educativo. Conoce conceptos fundamentales de las características de los estudiantes con necesidades educativas y especiales que le permitan derivar y realizar trabajos coordinados con especialistas. Esto quiere decir que si el profesor detecta algún problema en los alumnos, debe recurrir al tiro a otros personajes de la comunidad educativa. Por último, conoce estrategias para favorecer la inclusión e integración de los estudiantes, seleccionando recursos pedagógicos apropiados para estimular el desarrollo de sus fortalezas y respectivas autonomías.
Our personal appreciation about this descriptor, this standard, is, from my point of view, this pedagogical standard mentions very important points that are increasingly present in education nowadays. In our country, there are many different religions, cultures, opinions, and interests. And as a teacher, it's important to know how respect and promote the same respect for difference.
And my personal appreciation, in my opinion, this standard is very important as teacher. It is important that we are able to promote diversity, and not only that, but also be able to adapt the teachings to what the students need. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, girls. Thank you, thank you. The next group will be Genesis and Liselda. Do you need to share anything, Genesis? Let me know.
Miss, the next class or now?
No.
Because Giselle is not here.
Liselda, so she cannot connect today.
Yes, but the next class we can present.
Okay, Genesis. The point is that next class you will be doing, we will probably be meeting because you need something with micro teaching. But next week is a holiday. Remember the 8th of December? December 8th. So we won't have classes. Araceli and Javiera, are you there around?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, so who's going, so do I share with you, Araceli?
Javiera, teacher,
Javiera?
please.
Okay, Javiera.
Hey, teacher.
Okay, let me check. Okay, Javiera, you're there. All right. Get set, go. Oh, okay.
Okay. Good morning, teacher and classmate. Today we will talk about the standard 10. Estándar 10. Aprende en forma continua y reflexiona sobre su práctica y su inserción en el sistema educacional.
El futuro profesor o profesora comprende que su desempeño profesional requiere de una dedicación a su aprendizaje continuo.
También es capaz de analizar y reflexionar individual y colectivamente sobre su práctica pedagógica y sobre los resultados de aprendizaje de sus estudiantes.
Además, puede proponer cambios a partir de juicios fundados sobre la base de los estándares profesionales, los resultados de aprendizaje de los estudiantes, la retroalimentación de otros docentes y de las necesidades y expectativas del establecimiento educacional.
Igualmente está preparado para resolver problemas pedagógicos y de gestión y a la vez comprometer a múltiples actores en el logro de aprendizaje de calidad de los estudiantes, ya sea apoderados, familias y otros agentes.
Y finalmente, conoce el sistema educativo, su estructura, sus normativas y los marcos que regulan el desempeño y la evaluación de la profesión.
How can I comply with the pedagogical standard 10? Number 1. When the teacher critically analyzes their pedagogical practice and that of other teachers based on their impact on student learning and proposes and bases changes to improve it. Number 2. When the teacher identifies his own strengths and weaknesses in relation to the various disciplines he teaches and the skills necessary to teach them, recognizing his needs for professional development and updating.
Okay, and number 3, when the teacher investigates advanced and discoveries in the field of disciplines, he teaches an effective pedagogical practices. To do this, they know how to select and use valid research that provides feedback on their knowledge of the discipline and teaching practices. Number 4, when the teacher identifies, selects, analyzes the available resources to keep up date in the disciplines he teaches and in his didactic. Number 5, now the national education system is IAMS and objective it. Structure the regulation that govern its main achievements and the challenge and goals it has.
Now the frameworks that regulate the performance and evaluation of the teaching profession, as well as the basic administrative elements of teaching work at a general and institutional level. Number 7, when the teacher has a solid ethical training, which allows him to be aware of his responsibility in the personal, academic, social, and value development of future generations.
How to be a good teacher. Inspiring the teacher. Enthusiasm, positive, relationship, flexibility, innovative teaching, reflecting, and collaboration, positive, clear management, safe and stimulate classroom climate, and purposeful and relevant teaching.
Now activity time. Now we will carry out an activity where you must listen to the audio and guess what profession is. Okay?
Okay.
You can listen to the audio and guess the profession. Also, you can read the sentence
Mhm,
for guess.
mhm.
Okay. Oh.
I do surgery. I work in hospital. I make sick people better. Who am I?
Mhm,
What is the
What is the
profession?
profession?
mhm.
Participate.
Doctor?
Okay.
Doctor? I am doctor?
Mhm. Yes, a medical doctor. Mhm.
Yes,
Okay. Okay.
medical.
Javiera?
Yes.
Very
Is a
good.
doctor.
Yes.
Okay. The next.
I wear a uniform. I travel a lot. People call me captain. I fly planes. Who am I?
What is the next profession?
Mhm.
What do you think? Teacher, you
A pilot?
pilot?
Pilot.
I am pilot?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
pilot. Mhm.
Yes. Is a pilot.
Very good.
Yes, okay. Okay.
Okay. The next.
Mhm.
Next audio is.
Oh.
I wear a white hat. I work in the kitchen. I cook and feed people. Who am I?
What is the profession?
Mhm.
What
Chef.
seems?
A
Or
chef.
no?
Uh-huh. A chef, a cook.
I am chef.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Or a
Is
cook.
a
Very
chef.
good.
Yes.
Okay. The next is.
I drive a tractor. I grow vegetables and crops. I have animals in the field. Who am I?
What in this profession?
Like a farmer.
Yes.
Mhm.
I am
Farmer.
farmer.
Farmer?
A farmer. Mhm.
Okay.
Farmer.
Yes, it's farmer.
Yeah, it's a farmer.
Excellent.
Lens.
Excellent.
Thank
Okay.
for your attention and participation. Any question?
Wonderful, girl. Congratulations. I think this is important for every profession. Yes, that we finish all the standards with this standard about reflection, about critical views about what we do, and also how we provide feedback to our class, our colleagues, because that is proved in the literature that whenever we collaborate with others, as the girls have mentioned, we reflect on our practice, but also we collaborate with others, other colleagues' practices and reflection process. The whole of the profession improves, and teachers are very much aware of this and are very thankful when they receive feedback and help from others. So this is important for every profession. The girls finish the activity in a very appropriate way, just because every profession needs a moment of reflection and critical thinking. So that's something you will be doing for the rest of your profession as teachers, for sure. Okay, thank you, girls. Thank you very much.
Okay,
And
teacher.
Okay, teacher.
so I will create for next week. We don't have classes, but it's week 14. And you will be able to upload in that forum all of your presentations so that we have a compiled folder, let us say, with all of the presentations, which I think are very valuable the whole semester. Thank you, girls, for your collaboration. And we will be we have finished with these presentations. They are great, but we need to go well quickly to the different evaluations, modules evaluations, just for you to bear in mind everything that the things we have completed and things that we still have to complete. And one of them, well, is participation. Remember, I will be grading participation by the end of the semester, so you still have time. Plus, there will be also participation when we upload the micro teaching sessions. So I will be grading this by the end of the semester. So you still have time to complete previous participation in the forums that you have not completed yet. Then you have to, okay, the partial test, I am finishing. I have explained that it takes me approximately 4 or 5 hours, depending on how you wrote, to read everything, look for all the support materials I need to give you feedback with, and write the feedback. So it is really detailed what I'm doing. It's not something easy to just to check quickly. I think the quizzes from last semester were easier to check because some of them were already corrected by educandos. But in this occasion, I have to correct myself and give feedback, and that takes a lot of time of thinking and writing. So please bear with me. Today is a day I will dedicate to that, and probably if I don't finish today, it will be my Thursday afternoon, evening. So for you to know, I have also time to dedicate to that according to other obligations. So bear with me. Thank you for your understanding. You have passed. The point is that you have passed. Only I need to give you this feedback, and there is a general feedback that we will be seeing by the end of the presentation. That is the objective language objective writing, and that is something I want to pay attention to, and that's why it takes some time. So I am correcting like this person here in the, but not by hand, only with a computer, but it takes a long time sitting and reading and paying attention. I want to commend you, by the way, because of the activities you have developed there. You have thought of and developed, and they're great. You have great ideas. We still need to refine them, but all of this material is very valuable. Remember that next semester we have a practicum. Hopefully we will be able to do the practicum, even if it is partly online or partly face-to-face. I am not sure. Hopefully we will have students to practice, and all of these ideas that you have been writing about and you have received feedback, please keep all of these materials. I keep them in folders as well, and I will keep all the folders just because this is very valuable material. We will go back next semester, pull them out again and start working, because they are valuable ideas to do with kids, depending on the grades we have and the levels. So well done, girls, well done, but we still need to keep on to keep on working on some of those ideas. But the basic ideas you have developed, you have good ideas. We have to refine them, but it is great the amount of effort you have put, and also how much you have learned by probably just watching videos, since we haven't seen the real life classrooms yet. And I commend you for that. It's a great effort. Okay, so hopefully we will be able to carry them out, all of these activities, next year. Revision 3 has to do with the activities we were talking about last class, and it's about reading. Remember that we were developing reading and writing activities, And last week it was about reading. And today we will see some things related to writing, some practical issues to help you. Remember that you're putting together a lesson plan. And I also want to dedicate to that explanation. Okay, so have you found more information in regards reading strategies that you need to develop with students that you can develop to build up comprehension of print text? So we just said just mentioned some of these strategies according to the moment of reading. We have pre-reading strategies that you can develop before reading, while reading strategies, while you're reading, and post-reading strategies. And they are very useful, very useful. You have plenty of resources to read because you can apply them as students yourself for you to study, for you to read long texts, book chapters in Spanish, in English, in whichever language is the same. This is transferable to many scenarios. And take advantage of the reading time, you have. Okay, any ideas? I will show you a cartoon that will help you think, but I'm sure you know some more strategies that I can help you with a cartoon, which is very useful, and we will have it here. Okay. So any other
I have a doubt, Miss.
Yes.
We have to send you the portfolio in December 8th, the next week.
No, in that week. We will talk about that later, okay?
Okay. It's not necessary the
Yes.
December 8th.
No, you can complete this week and next week. I will give you one more week. Yes, because we have time. Okay, so if you look at Snoopy here, you can see different strategies that he can apply, and they can be applied at different times of the class. When do you think, which do you think you will apply in pre-reading? So here we have previous knowledge. Yes, previous knowledge, which is related to connection. Yes, we connect to previous knowledge, to what we know. What else is pre-reading in this cartoon? Which one of these can you do in the pre-reading section of the class before you read? Girls? Girls, are you there?
Yes, but I don't understand the question. What activities we can do? Can do in the
pre-reading moment, for pre-reading.
In my opinion, do questions related to the story that we will read, or watch videos?
Yes, set questions
that introduce to the children to the activity.
Exactly. Think of questions, and you can see this in the videos in pre-reading, with pre-reading activities, that teachers also use this strategy a lot. They ask questions about what students see in the book cover, or with the different illustrations. Think of questions about the story, and this is related to previous knowledge, to predictions. Yes, think of questions about the story. What is going to come? Yes, story or reading, and if it is not necessarily a story, or reading in general. Okay, And what do you do with the questions? This is a very good example while we are reading. What do we do when we are reading, while we are reading with these questions? And look at Snoopy. What is Snoopy doing there? So how is he, what is he, while reading, how can you connect questions with while reading activity strategy? Which connect? You question and what do you do? What is Snoopy doing here?
In my case, I can see the screen. Miss.
Maybe with listening.
Sorry, probably you cannot see the screen. Sorry. What? Sorry, probably you cannot see Snoopy. That's why. Sorry. Wait a minute. So, if we think that a pre-reading strategy is referred to questions that we ask the story, what is going to happen in this story according to different clues, pictures, illustrations, general topic? What do you do while you are reading? While you're reading, what do you do with these questions? How do you connect? What do you think? Which strategy connects? Could it be clarify? Investigate. Do you search for answers for those questions?
Teacher, I think the question of the review the children and press attention of the text or class.
Yes, so they pay attention. Yes, they pay attention to the question and they clarify, they investigate if that question can be answered. Yes. So I have so we have one of the classes, I think you saw it, but I can share with you the link. The teacher shows a book about a monster. So she has lots of questions and students also think of questions. What is the story going to be about? And what do they do while they are reading? They clarify those ideas. They look for answers. They investigate. They identify which are the main points in the story. So that's what they do when you ask questions before reading. While you are reading, what do? You clarify your ideas, your previous ideas, and look for answers. Yes. You look for answers to the questions. And that is something we all do, even if we are not aware necessarily. But we do that. And after reading, what do we do? Look at what can come after. Look at Snoopy. And it's related also to questions. Probably, yes, you ask questions, you check, you clarify whether those questions belong to the story. And then what do you do? Finally.
I think that evaluate.
Yes, excellent. You evaluate whether you understood correctly, whether you answer the questions correctly. Excellent. Evaluate if you understood the story. Excellent. Evaluate your understanding of the story and the process of answering the questions. Yes. No, sorry. answering questions. Okay, so you evaluate how well did you read, how much did you understand, how much could you complete these questions or answer your questions. Excellent. And so you have these ones and many more to complete this. And you know this is part of your task 8. So please pay attention, then you can complete it with the help of this presentation. And here you were looking for some information in regards different reading comprehension activities. And we have seen jigsaw reading. Do you remember when did we do jigsaw reading, this semester and last semester? What was jigsaw reading? And you had a picture also to show jigsaw. What is a jigsaw? Okay, here you can see the picture. What is a jigsaw? Look at here. What is a jigsaw? What are these people doing? Everyone has one section. Can you see?
Yes.
Okay, so whenever you do jigsaw reading, that means that different students will have a section of the reading. And that means later they need all of the different sections together to make a whole. So jigsaw reading is something useful for students to keep interested in the reading, just because they need to listen to classmates in order to complete the story. So jigsaw reading implies implies the division of a reading piece in sections. Sections that will be put together by the end. Okay, so whenever you have the complete reading, you complete the jigsaw, you complete the picture. Or a reading circle, basically, or it's easy from, or choral reading. You have seen this in the videos. What is choral reading? All of the students, what do they do in choral reading?
The student reading in together?
Yes, the students read together, exactly, read all together. And this is a pattern of reading activity and reading. And there is in one of the videos, one of the teachers explains that this is used by teachers to teach students pronunciation, rhythm, intonation while reading. And it is a good strategy, good activity you can do. Of course, it's not for forever. And yes, students need to learn to read alone, but this is a good activity for beginners, young learners, when learning a native language, or also learning a foreign language or a second language. Yes, teachers do this also here with students in preschool or in elementary school, for sure, when teaching Spanish. And you have done it probably also in your school in your school time. Shared reading is presented by one of the professors in one of the videos, and it's a strategy in which 2 students share the reading, 1 sentence each. So share choral reading implies that the students read together, and share reading implies students reading alternatively. Yes, reading alternatively. and they support each other. English learners, for example, can read like this to support each other and share that reading. So it's not altogether too heavy for only one person. When reading is something new, you're just starting reading with very young learners. In our case, 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds can do this. Okay. So you have to complete this in the task, so pay attention. And then what are the items that teachers need to know to draw attention to when reading in English to young learners? So we have said previous knowledge. Yes, we have seen, and also we see in Snoopy different strategies. Previous experience with the language. Of course, we need to know whether students, what do they know about the topic, which knowledge of the language they have, vocabulary, and that's something I always repeat. I have been giving this feedback to all your writings. Every activity has to start with this, with vocabulary, presentation of new words, introduction of new words, printed words, pictures, practice of vocabulary. Every activity needs this practice with specific vocabulary. Otherwise, students cannot continue, let us say, or do the activity. So think of that. We are teaching a foreign language. They need all this input, structures, vocabulary, special words, special expressions, everything that they need to accomplish the activity. Then the sounds, remember that pronunciation, and one of the professors in one of the videos also explained, I think 2 weeks ago, about the importance of recognizing that our Spanish, we are Spanish speakers, and some of the sounds in English are very foreign to us. So you need to introduce that, the sound th in 3, that. The sound ch is something difficult also, yes, church, but presentation. All of these sounds need to be repeated and practiced with Spanish speakers, because they do not always get those sounds from the English language immediately, yes? There are some sounds that are different in our language. What else do you think you need to pay attention to when reading to students in elementary school? So we said something about vocabulary, pronunciation, knowledge of the topic. Is it the same reading to first grade students than reading to students in grade 5? When they know the letters, they know the alphabet, they know how to read in Spanish. Well, this is here, previous experience with the language. So here, how can you say, what else do we need to pay attention? Whether students, especially with reading, previous knowledge and experience of the language, especially what do they need to know in order to read? Come on, do they read immediately? Or what do you need to practice? Remember teacher Mark, what does he do with the little children in Japan? He teaches lots of vocabulary, but among those things he teaches and he shows on the board, what does he teach?
Recognize the word.
Words and letters, the letters of the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It's an old song, very old, but it's still used today.
Yeah.
So to teach the alphabet, think how important that is. Students here in Linares in first grade will be learning in Spanish as well. But you need to teach them to sing, how do these letters sound in English? And that might take you some time. because they will see the letters, but they will need to know, it's very much related to sounds and phonics. How do they sound in English? So yes, teaching of the alphabet. And imagine, we know teacher Mark has this challenge in Japan because children are surrounded by a different alphabet, different writing characters. So imagine that is much more demanding. But here, previous experience with the alphabet is much more easier when they have this much easier when they have this experience from their mother tongue with the alphabet. But anyway, for us, even when we have the same alphabet, we have to dedicate time to the repetition of sounds in the alphabet, so to introduce students to different kind of pronunciation, to those differences, and so on and so forth. Of course, that would be different with students in 5th grade, in 8th grade, by the end of elementary school, middle school here in Chile, of course, because they are already literate. They know the alphabet. They know how to read in Spanish, how to write in Spanish. Of course, the experience is different. And the experiences with sounds are different, and how you practice with them, the sounds are also different. But practice with sound and vocabulary are always necessary, even in college level. Yes, we never finish practicing this. And finally, here is when you start to organize this lesson plan for your project. We will see the lesson plan. Again, I uploaded it to Educandus. We will see it. This is a lesson plan we developed for last semester for practicum. It will eventually change according to changes in produced by the Ministry of Education and new demands on planning in schools. But you have a good, at the least the format that we have been using up to now, and that our students are using also with practicum in 3rd or 4th year in Spanish. Okay, so do you have any questions in regards to this project? We will see the lesson plan. And remember, you're planning activities there, and you have been learning about different types of activities. We have seen integration of skills. Now we are focusing on reading and writing, since we did not do that last semester. So we are completing this instruction, and therefore you need to be thinking of activities in those areas. Okay. So for today, we have a standard pedagógico 4, so it's about designing and implementing teaching and learning strategies. And you know this, we have talked about this standard. We have talked about this standard last semester and this semester, okay? So that's why we are now planning, all right? Planning strategies for teaching and learning. All right, so now we are going to focus this last part of the unit in writing. And this is a good writing, reading, I mean a listening, sorry, a listening activity, listening comprehension activity. And so it's a video with a speaker talking about important concepts in relation to writing, and why writing is important with children, and components of the writing process, and some ideas, strategies, and ways to support the writing process. So this is a very interesting video. You need to listen at ease, at home, practice listening for practicing your listening skills. So take the time to do it. And luckily, we need to explain many more things today, but it is a good listening. as an exercise for you for practice. All right. So writing. So we need to think, what do you consider writing to mean in the lower elementary EFL classes or in the upper elementary classes? And what do you, how do you think writing is done in these different levels? Also think of Spanish. How do children write when they start their writing process, learning to write?
The teacher, the children in the field writing the vowels or your name.
So they
in
write, so they learn the alphabet, yes.
Yes.
The vowels, the consonants, yes. Exactly, in Spanish the same, yes. The alphabet, so they learn the basics. Imagine you start at the basics. In Spanish, in English, in whichever language, you need the basics. So they learn the alphabet, consonants, vowels, consonants, vowels. What do they do, consonants, vowels, as writing activities? Do they write alone? Okay, children, composition time, write about your last holidays. Or is it other type of writing that they do in the first years? Think of very young children. They learn the basics, they learn vocabulary. Yes, very important. They learn vocabulary. But in order to learn vocabulary, what do they do with these letters, these consonants and vowels? What do you think? What do they have to learn to do? So they learn to put, you are not born knowing, you have to put these consonants and vowels together, yes? Together in order to learn vocabulary and then practice that vocabulary. Do we agree in the order of things? Yes. And do they do more guided writing or do they write alone? Okay, write in your diary 10 pages of your last holidays or last weekend. Can they do that?
I think the guideline.
They are guided. Yes, they do guided.
The children copy.
Yeah, copy. Excellent. You copy a
the
lot. Yes, from the board. Yes, or from the word walls. Yes, so they do guided, controlled writing. Excellent, girls, excellent. Controlled writing, yes. So this is, whereas from 5th grade onwards, they are freer, they can do less controlled writing. Just they can write about, okay, write everything you did last weekend, and students can produce this with greater freedom, yes. So they can write with greater freedom anyway. You know that they need support or scaffolding, or also they need also feedback. Yes, exactly. So they can write with more freedom. Nevertheless, always waiting for feedback from the teacher, since this is a process of learning. Yeah, they can write with more freedom and understand also the feedback. Understand feedback, corrections. Remember, at this time you're being corrected in your mother tongue as well. You receive more corrections from the teachers. You need to pay attention to rules. Yes, something that probably in the first grades you don't pay attention to so much, right? Moreover, when learning a foreign language. Okay, understand feedback corrections, and they can write with more freedom, understand feedback corrections, and pay attention to rules. And you know, the writing of young children, how it is very simple in structures and vocabulary. But then, as you advance, you can write more elaborated sentences and also pay attention to rules. And that's in the mother tongue and in a second or foreign language. And why do you think children do writing tasks in the foreign language? Why do you think so? Why do you have to write in English while learning English? Why do you think this is important? We are teaching the skills in an integrated way, yes? Why is writing important? Look at this. Any ideas?
Because it's part of the language and is one skill that we need to develop.
Yes, it's part of the language we need to develop. It is important to show learning as well. How do you show later? How do you show your learning process? By writing. I can see your train of thoughts whenever you write this sentence, this open written questions. You show your train of thought, how much you have learned, how much you have reflected, how much you have thought of something. And so it is important for us. So students, sorry, yeah, we can write a good subject here. Students show learning and critical thinking through writing. And critical thinking through writing, and also through writing, and that is also part of the language, and it's a realistic way of teaching and learning the language, since it's a skill that belongs also to the development of that language knowledge. It's everything is very appropriate. Okay, so we need to change the language here, but haven't changed much. And I have heard some professors saying that, for example, students get to college and they do not know how to write, not even in their mother tongue. So imagine that situation. Okay, yes. So let me. Okay, and we will change this word as well. So imagine that college students need to know how to write, even moreover in their mother tongue, but also think of how much you help students learn to write in elementary school, so that then they can access literacy in English in an easier way. And you open that door for them for their future as well. Okay, so students show learning and critical thinking, and writing is an important skill. We know it takes time to develop, but we need to do it and to show also our levels of knowledge and the level of literacy we have arrived at. So writing is an important skill in the language. Okay. All right. Okay. So in here you have here some resources to think of a print-rich environment in the English classroom. And last year we talked a lot about the environment, how to create the environment to learn English. And we talked about different elements, many different elements, as for example, what did we talk about? The boards with words. Do you remember the word walls? Just to give an example. And here in these resources, there's a wonderful video of an institution that teaches teachers, that helps teachers develop these strategies to create a print-rich environment, meaning an environment in English that is surrounded by print. And what does print mean? What does this mean? Print-rich environment means it's surrounded by written words. And also think about this whenever you're thinking of your activities. Many of you think of showing students a video, which is something wonderful. But you also need to show them the written words. So that's why you need your students to be surrounded by print in English. Remember that we are far away from the setting where English is spoken. Our students are surrounded by Spanish, and probably the classrooms that we go next year, we will see lots of words written in Spanish, but we need to provide them the input in English. So think of print-rich environments, and you will find lots of information here. All right. So, okay, here we will brainstorm some other things. For example, think of very, very young learners, 6 years old. Yes, in the primary school, in elementary school, the youngest children. So what do they do in order to write? And you said something already related to copying, yes? So they copy, yes, of course, they copy, they cannot write alone. What else can you do in the classroom? What is this? Label things in the classroom. What is to label things in the classroom? What does it mean to label? What is label? You write the name on the object. Es poner un rótulo, poner un nombre. Yes? So for example, on the door, you write the word door. On the board. Have you seen this in previous pictures, videos?
Yes.
Yes, of course. You label the classroom elements. Yes, you have seen this for sure. Classroom objects. And this is something very important in the classroom. Think that your students need this input. They do not know. They have this input in Spanish. So for example, let me check if I can show you a picture. Okay, so think of that labeling is a great way to show your students this input in English. So think of this picture, for example. You have the classroom and you need to label all of the elements from the classroom. Yeah, so you have paper, glue, ruler, and then you have door, window, everything, board, everything. So that is label. Yes, and you can find this on the internet. So there are plenty of examples of labeling, to label. All right. Do we understand? Do we follow? Okay, next, copy fun phrases. For example, I love you, happy birthday, and you can annotate the birthdays of all the students in the classroom. And then what we said before, children, put the letters together, arrange the letters to write English words. Remember that at the very beginning, letters are all separated and then they have to put together. Teacher Mark, with very young children, is teaching the letters separated, yes? A, B, C, D, probably two years time from the time the children are learning this, they will be able to put them together by the time they are 5, 6. So they can put the words to the letters together. So that will be more or less the process we can see in the future. So write a list. The list means you have to write several more, like 3, 4 more. You have it. You have that in the Word document. So think of other things that children can do with very little knowledge. They're just learning, putting things together, learning the first steps in writing. So this is demanding, but you can think, you can check also from the internet what to do. Now, while reading, you will have other resources here in which you have to identify 10 teaching learning strategies and activities for developing writing. And this is important for you since you're going to use this knowledge to do your planning. So what are you going to pay attention to? You need to pay attention to the age. As we said, if we have 6 years old, they cannot do a composition about the last holidays. Yes, they can do speaking probably if they are given the right support, but they cannot write. And of course, if you are in 8th grade, you're not going to just teach them to put letters together. Okay, so we have to pay attention to age, whether the activities are controlled or not controlled, and you have a good, there is a good website for that. I will show you. I have to include it here. What do you think is a controlled activity? Are these activities controlled by the teacher? Or is the student alone, just free, doing things freely? What do you think at this stage, at the very beginning stage?
They do the activities with the help of the teacher.
Yes, so they are controlled by the teacher.
Yes.
Yes, so, but uncontrolled means they are free. They are freer to do things. So think of that also. Think of that. I will show you a list and you will tell me. And then creative and meaningful writing tasks. I want to tell you that my thesis for the PhD, for the doctorate thesis, was on writing. Was one of the elements was writing. And what future teachers in the United States told me was that what they had seen also done in classes they had visited, they had practiced with, was that writing needed to be relatable, needed to be meaningful, needed to relate to the students. And that was a great finding for me at that time, because I thought that that students would write about just anything, the cow, whatever, the president, or or something outside of their experience. But the best writing, according to them, and that is proved to be true, was that meaningful writing about themselves, about their family, about their experience, about their learning, was more effective. So think of all of these whenever you're thinking of these learning strategies, teaching and learning strategies and activities. And I want to show you a useful website for you to tell me whether you think they are they are guided or controlled or not controlled activities. Let me find it. Writing skills. Okay. Okay. Okay, here. Okay, sometimes you find it, sometimes I lose it. Okay, but he's here. So in this British Council page, you have a list of writing activities. And if I show you here, just read one and tell me, this controlled or not, or uncontrolled? What do you think? Just choose one. Genesis, what do you think? Which would you pick? Writing consequences, for example. Consequences depend on some cause, yes? So this is a guided writing, probably in 5th, 6th grade. For example, you teach students, if you don't study, you will not pass the exam. If you study, you will pass the exam. Do you think is this more guided or not guided? Just an example that comes to my mind. Any? Kate? Any idea?
What is the question, Miss? Sorry.
Whether writing here about consequences is guided or not guided. You can check later, but in my opinion, this is more guided. You need to follow certain rules.
Yes.
And check, but a perfect story, would that be guided or unguided? Or less guidance, with less guidance?
Depends or no?
It depends, but you can be given more freedom to write a perfect story on any topic after you have learned to write, yes, in the older grades. So if you connect this to here, to other activities, yes, think that more creative and meaningful writing tasks, as for example, the perfect story, will be dedicated to those students that already know how to write and that are freer, yes, have more freedom to write alone. So they are less controlled. You can give them more freedom. Whereas other stages need more control because the students are still learning. So think of all of those items and issues whenever reading this. And finally, here you have again something about control or free open-ended activity, yes, about shared writing. And here you will read about the topic of shared writing. Yes, and you have an example there. There's a special kind of writing. If you think, what does share mean? What does share mean?
In Spanish?
Yes, in Spanish.
Compartir.
Compartir, yes. So it's a kind of shared writing, una escritura compartida, o escribir en forma compartida. All right. So you will discover that it's a good activity with young learners, with beginners, and something that can be done in schools here in the area because children will need a lot of support. It's very controlled. Yes, it's on the side of controlled activities, and then you have other free activities as we have seen in that list from the British Council. All right, so do you understand the difference between guided or controlled and free or open-ended? Yes? Activities, writing, yes? Okay, I hope, because what you will be doing is writing your activities for your lesson plan. And now I will show you. You have the lesson plan uploaded to Educandos. Last week I uploaded it. And we will see again how it looks like. Sorry. But you have it. You can download it from last week's Educandos section. And I will show it to you now. I don't know. You have a rubric as well for you to have a guidance on how to complete it. It's class from class to class. It will be changed probably for next year, but we will be looking at that next semester, hopefully, where we work in practical. Okay, so this is what you have there, the lesson plan. You have also the access to the bases curriculares en inglés. You have access to the supplementary bases curriculares from 1st grade to 4th grade. And then the 5th grade is the upwards are the official ones that have been more developed up to date. And in there, whenever you check for the units, you will find the general outcome, which is the general objective of the unit. I will show you. And then you have to write your specific objectives to teach language. And this is something I have been giving you feedback in your midterms. Since we did a little bit last semester, but you will need to revise this. And you have the practice here in the PPT as well. And these two objectives are repeated here in this column. Yes, first of all, the general outcome, and then the language objective. This is something specific you're going to write to teach through language. Yes, through English. We will see the examples. Here you have the different skills. So remember, we will be integrating skills, ideally. So you will do speaking, listening, reading, and writing. And here you will divide these activities into the beginning of the activity, the development section of the activity, and the closure. Very similar to what you do in Spanish. Probably you have been doing this with Professor Karen in Spanish, this is very much the same pattern. Then here, the activities here, you write the activities students do, and in this section, activities teachers do. Here you need the materials, the resources. Evaluator indicators are from bases curriculares, if you can find them. We are not paying attention since you have an evaluation next semester, so do not worry about this. And if you have any instrument to check that that objective that you are trying to teach. Yes, some instrument, it could be some kind of activity, handout, a written activity, some kind of matching exercise in which you can see whether students have learned what you have been teaching here, whether it is special vocabulary, or some kind of content that you want to teach. So this is very basic. You have to still do some more, develop some more knowledge in evaluation. So this is very basic. But here, the steps of the activities you can do, you have done this last semester as well. So we are learning, yes, we are developing this. Okay, is that clear now? This is uploaded. So you have to pay attention to what is uploaded to Educandos. So do you follow me, girls?
Yes.
All right. So this is a presentation for the students in third year. So we will do this next year as well. But in here, I wanted to show you that the same, what I was explaining, yes. For example, the learning outcome, which is a general learning outcome at the end of the unit. Then the learning objective needs to be specific in lexicon and grammar patterns. So for example, here students recognize greetings in English using specific vocabulary. For example, hello, good morning, goodbye. Yes, so I need to talk a specific vocabulary, phrases, patterns, syntactic patterns. So it's not that something very general as, I don't know, learn about whatever, greetings in English only. And so this is what I have been doing and giving you specific feedback on in your writing work, in your written work. To participate in dialogues with teachers and classmates. So this is the objective. Okay, so I will upload this as well. We will go in deep detail next semester, but just for you to have an idea. So then, for example, there are in bases curriculares, there are certain sections of the units that only develop speaking skill or listening skill. Remember that we are developing all of them. And then you have the beginning, for example, an example on how the activity for the beginning section of the class is explained. Okay. So it's in relationship to these greetings. Then you have the development section, which you also need to be able to complete step by step. And the closure section. Then this is a teacher activities, how I explain what the teacher does. Yes, so on the one hand, I explain what the students do. So students identify greetings, and then what the teacher does. Yes? The teacher shows pictures of greetings in English, repeating specific vocabulary. And then the resources, the materials, and the evaluation indicators are in the bases curriculares. You can find them. If not, as I said, it's okay. We will develop this next semester. And then your instruments of evaluation. It could be a dialogue, for example, in which students repeat the greetings. In the specific case of this example. So I will upload this step-by-step planning. Is that clear, girls? Could you understand it?
Yes, Miss.
Okay. So for you to
Yes,
have
teacher.
yes, so all of the elements, please be responsible to share this with your classmates, since many of them could not connect today. And here we will see that the process of writing these objectives, which I wanted to repeat with you and clarify with you, since you need specific words and structures. So always remember that verbs in the language objectives include verbs that show behavior. They are action verbs. They cannot be verbs that indicate thought or feelings like, enjoy, love, appreciate, understand. We don't use these words, these verbs. because they don't show us a behavior we can observe. Therefore, we need to use action verbs like identify, I use that in the example, recognize, present, describe, explain. But you can do also demonstrate, you can also do body activities, include body activities like mimic, demonstrate, and other verbs that indicate actions, verbal actions, yeah, like this one. Okay, so this is a structure, and I have been writing this in the feedback. So we have the function, the verb, the content, the greetings that we have seen, sounds of English. You have many different contents, and you have done this correctly in the midterm. So you get this correct, yes, the verb and the content. But then you are not so sure whenever you're talking about lexicon, grammar, patterns, whether you're teaching a verb tense, a structure, or whether you're using specific vocabulary words. Yes. And also when you mention that you're developing specific skills like oral, that you're doing only something orally or something writing, or you're practice, or you're applying all of or you're developing all of the skills. You can also add this in the objective. So you need to be very detailed. And this is something that was not very clear in your writings. Okay, so here I have some of the examples we did last year, I think. So write wild jungle animal names using specific vocabulary: lion, tiger, snake. Identify parts of the body, recognizing specific vocabulary, and again, you can mention whether it is parts of the head, parts of the arm, or what specific vocabulary you want them to learn. Or identify parts of the body, writing sentences using the present simple. Or in the present simple, yes. For example, I move my hand, I close my hand, I close my eyes, I open my mouth. Those are sentences using the present simple structure and repeating the parts of the body. Just one example, yes, of the many. Identify sounds and repetition of sounds. Yeah. Describe the habitat of animals using specific vocabulary, whether it is the sea, the mountain, because you're learning vocabulary related to habitat. Adjectives also, describe the story characters using qualifying adjectives. For example, since last week, we talked about reading, yes, and stories, reading stories. And in stories, you can find lots of elements of the language that you can develop, whether it is specific vocabulary, structures. There are different stories that you can, there are certain children's stories that teach opposites. So this is big and this is small, here and there, out or in, whatever, yes? And you can focus on these elements of language in the objectives. So it's clearer? Is this explanation clearer?
Yes.
Okay.
In my case, yes.
Okay. So let me check here. Finally, the micro teaching. And I want to come to some agreements with you. This will be recorded and then uploaded to Educandos as well. So we did last semester, you did the micro teaching, so you have the experience. We are not going to do something much different from that. So remember that you choose one of the activities Remember that the time limit is no longer than 7 minutes because it will be too long, too difficult to do. You have the experience from last semester, so I think it was a successful experience. Let us keep on those time limits. So you choose one activity of your lesson plan. It could be the beginning, there will be the warm-up, or could be the development. You decide, because the time limit for the activity is no longer than 7 minutes. All right. Okay, you include necessary support, pictures, images, videos. You, some of you filmed yourselves doing activities, actions. Everything is valuable, right? You create your own word walls. You did different things last semester, and they were all great. Participants in the pair and groups are required to participate equally. So in the micro teaching, sorry. So this is both of you speaking. So everyone speaking, you explain, each of you explain a section of the activity or do an action. Both of you are included. What else? The software you can use the same as you have used last semester. It's just this. These are only suggestions. Yes, PowerSoft, Filmora, because they allow you to videotape your presentation and you yourselves. So if you want to film yourselves doing something, that's also possible. And Zoom, which is a good way to videotape yourselves. Anything else that you can think of for micro teaching?
Is in pairs, right?
In pairs, yes, with your pairs, yes.
We choose our partner.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
the same with whom you have been working with will be uploaded. So the final video will be uploaded to the corresponding forum. Corresponding forum on on Educandos, sorry, that's what I want to say, on Educandos. Educandos, okay. Week, let me check the week, week 15, yes, week 15. So 2 weeks time. That means that runs from 14th to 18th December. Yes. Okay. Anything else that we need to remember? You will be at the supervisor's checklist. Do you remember the supervisor's checklist? Will be uploaded to Educandos. The classmates checklist will also be uploaded, and you will be giving feedback to each other. And that will be the last participation section, yes, for your final grade on participation, yes? Anything else you remember? Will account for your participation grade. Remember that last semester we did the same. We gave feedback to our classmates following a checklist. Okay, do we have anything else, girls, to remember about micro teaching? Remember, I will be available this week and next week if you have any questions, if you don't understand anything about this. So I will write a follow-up email recommending everyone to watch this video, check up Educandos with all the materials. And so so you have lots of different agreements here, but in general, so December, no, okay, no, here. December will be a month to work, will be dedicated to work in pairs, finishing your lesson plans projects, your lesson plans for the project to work in pairs, finishing the lesson plans. And what we will do here is also give you feedback, yes, for your lesson plan, yes. Okay, so complete the lesson plan, and we will give it capital letters because it's the name, the proper name of the document. Complete the lesson plan and upload it for feedback. For feedback, that will be week 13 to the corresponding task on Educando in this week 13. Okay, then you will choose one of the activities with no more than 7 videos. Prepare for the video. Yourselves for the video and activities. Prepare yourselves and the activities for the video. Okay, this is clearer, I think. Then include the necessary support, decide on all of these things you want to include. And okay, so that is clearer, I think. So I think this agreement is general for all of us. December will be dedicated to work in pairs, finishing your lesson plans for the project, and preparing your micro teaching video. Yes?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, it's clear. It's clearer, girls? Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I will be available. I will write the title, don't you worry. So I will be available for feedback and questions. I will send you a link for December 15th in case you want to meet with me, show me something, ask me questions. I will be communicating with you via email, and so you can contact me that day, meet with me, and just wrap up your work. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Remember that the portfolios you need to finish this week and next week. I will add that here as well. so we have time. I will have time during December, this first week, second week in December, to check them. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions, girls? So now, ask me now. 11th. 11th. This was Kate's question at the beginning. So now, so this will be the time frame. Yes, for the portfolio. Okay. Girls, any questions?
Yes. No, in my case, I haven't questioned, Miss.
You don't have any questions. Okay, so as
Yes.
you start to work and you have questions, please call me or just send me, send me a message or an email, and I will be able to help you. And I will be able to help you
Okay.
with any questions. Well, okay, girls, so I think this is all for today and for the semester. Too much information. Just try to sit down and finish little by little. Finish your portfolios, finish your participation that you have behind, and then complete the project. And I think we will be okay. You have been doing great, so I don't think we will have any problems.
Okay.
Okay, girls, nice to see you.
Thank you,
for your
Miss, for all.
participation. No, thank you, and thank you for helping me complete this video, which is long, but it's very. I needed to transmit lots of information. We need to wrap up the semester. So, so do not worry. I will communicate with the rest of the class, sending the news that they need to watch this and follow and find all the materials on Educandos.
Okay.
Okay, girls. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss.
I hope you have a great week. So you have a month to finish everything, well, 3 weeks to finish everything. So we will finish the semester successfully.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, girls. Bye-bye.
Bye, Miss.
Bye, Miss.
Care. Okay, so